Howdy.
All right. Well, I guess now that Alex is here, we can probably kick things off. Just a quick breakdown on where you are. You are at 30 minutes max. This is the casual catch up where we try and endeavor to answer as many of your questions as possible. A lot of them we can't, but if we can't answer them, then we'll try and get those answers and then we'll bring them back for the start of the next show. So if you are new here, the way this works, quite simply, during the course of the week, you take random letters from the alphabet, you form them into words. Those words can be compiled into sentences and used as questions. Put them into the 30 minutes max channel and we'll do our best to answer them. Pretty straightforward, really, isn't it?
Exactly.
Sure.
Just before we jump into the questions that have come through, just wanted to take a moment to update everyone. Last week on 30 Minutes Max, I discussed that we have an internal database that we log all of the kind of questions in from the community that we can't answer on the spot, and then go and work through those to get the accurate answers from the relevant kind of product owners or people in leadership. We went through that database a lot over the last week and responded to pretty much all the questions across both Discords that I could find. But just a couple notes on that. If you are asking a question that you want a response to, don't do it in general, because it could take a couple of days to get a response, by which point, we can't respond to you in general because it'll just get swept away. So if you have a question and you really want an answer for it, please post it in the Ask Us Anything area. It gives us a nice, neat area to track that and to come back with all the official response and kind of, have a back and forth conversation in there. Additionally, if anyone feels like there's questions that they've asked to date within Discord that we haven't officially responded to, please let me know, tag me, or re-raise them as a question in the Ask Us Anything forum, and I'll make sure we get onto those, because I've worked through the whole database over the last week and basically gotten responses out to everything. So if you are still waiting on a response to a question, please just sort of re-ask it or re-tag me in that, so I can make sure that we address that.
And if we're on a topic or answering a question that's relevant to something you want to ask, feel free to interrupt. Just if we're answering a whole bunch of stuff about thingies and you've got a question, once we've finished speaking about those thingies, jump in then. It's okay to jump in and cut us off. We're just going to try and get through these questions as casually as possible. And of course, we're doing things a little bit different today. So today, Alex is going to be asking the questions and I'm going to be answering them for you. How does that sound, Alex?
It sounds amazing, but I'm worried for for the responses.
Yeah, there's no way I was going to do that. All right, so I'm gonna kick things off.
Call me.
Okay, I'm gonna start with this out of order. I'm gonna go. Could 30 minutes max move an hour earlier?
I mean, yeah, we're always open to shifting time, and I guess if you're in the US, it already has because of daylight savings change in time zone. But yeah, if there's any specific times or time zones that people are, really wanting to cover, I'm open to shifting the time, or maybe making it so that it chops and changes a little bit between different time zones to allow for more people and more kind of global accessibility.
Yeah, daylight savings, that's a bit of a worry, eh? So all my 7 a.m. meetings moved to 6 a.m. Sweet. Thanks, NZ. All right, let's get into what we can expect from the Goblin amulets this year. This is regarding the minting of goblins and further utility. Anything you can answer there?
Not at this stage, except to say that obviously there's a lot of work going on in the background. You'll see some other goblin-y stuff coming through the pipeline over the next couple months. But I don't have any other updates outside of that in terms of the next stage with, the game and how the amulets play into that. At this stage, there'll be some official comms to come on that front.
All right. How about the leadership hires coming out of the US? People have been tracking who we're trying to hire. What do you know about that?
Yeah, I mean, there's been some good progress. I think there's another head of role was filled recently in the tech department. But outside of that, yeah, I think there's a few ones that we're still out in market for, making some good progress. We've had some really good candidates come through on some of those, and yeah, we're actually looking at I guess having more of a showcase probably within the Futureverse website of especially like the leadership team, and just kind of giving some more visibility across everyone in those key positions across like C-suite and VPs, maybe down to head of as well.
Yeah, we've got a few new hires that have come in through the team on creative and other places. So shout out to all the people who are joining the team at the moment. Now we're getting back to the when question. Are we on track to deliver a quest as promised this month?
Yeah, I mean, we're working to bring the next quest to life. It is going to come very, very, very soon. I'm not going to exactly state what date it is because there's many moving factors, but it is always our intention to try and deliver at least one quest per month, at least at this stage when we're really trying to utilize these quests to distribute rewards in the build up to full public launch of the root network. As I pointed out in general just before, it hasn't been 3 months. It hasn't been 2 quests in 3 months so far. It's been 2 quests in 2 months and 2 days. But stay tuned. You'll see some key updates regarding the next quest coming out very soon.
Well, good. I know we're all excited for that.
Mhm.
Now, Thingies have been getting a bit of attention lately, and they deservedly should be getting it, Matt. I've been loving the art that's coming out and being shared all over X and other places. So
Yep.
now, just to start it off, the website apparently mentions that, there's something in the Thingies backpacks. Let's just start there. Do we know if there's anything in those backpacks? Is that still a thing even?
I mean, there's definitely something in the backpacks, but I can't speak to what it is or what role that's going to play in the next stage of Thingy utility or the wider experiences that we start to roll out. But I think that there's the next part of that was is it relating to the updates that have come through? Is that right?
Yeah, so basically after that, we've got the updates and the question regarding why on ETH still. So let's get into the fun bit first. What's going on with that upgraded art?
Yeah, so I mean, as always, we're fine tuning and tweaking things in the background, and especially in the AI space, there's regular updates coming through all the time. So, thing is, as we've always said, it's something that's evolving, adapting, learning, as with all of our kind of AI models. And we did push through a recent update to the AI art, which many of you have noticed through Twitter. It's not something that we deemed worthy of putting a massive announcement out or anything, because you're going to see a lot of this sort of stuff happen, small incremental updates happening across the board. And yeah, I'm really stoked to see the feedback so far on this latest update.
Yeah, I'm loving it too, mate. All right. Now, we rolled out Patty, altered state machine, that test network for training the brains a little while back. Have we finished with that now, or is there still brain testing to come? Do you know how that's going to be working at all?
Honestly, I need to check in with the product owner on that. I think that question only came in sort of in the last 12 hours or so. Let me log that one and go back and check with the product owner. I mean, the intention for Patty was always just to be a kind of first test use case, to show how AI gamification can work in the kind of very simplified format, and then provide that code for anyone to play with. But I guess the questions were relating to kind of testnet. I'm not sure specifically what they mean there, but I'll follow up with the product owner of that one, and I'll post a response directly to that message within the channel.
Thank you. Staking. I'm not going to read this whole question out. It's a pretty broad one. I really think, what can you tell us about the new staking dashboard and the changes that have been made and to why we're seeing what we're seeing now?
Yeah, so obviously with all of our product launches, we're trying to deliver the best kind of possible user experience and give as much kind of transparency into how things work as possible. But sometimes that doesn't necessarily work as planned. What we noticed with the front end of the staking dashboard was, I mean, firstly, there was some miscalculations going on just in the actual front end display. It's not something that would actually materially affect the rewards being paid out because that's calculated at the end. But obviously, a lot of people were focused on that estimated reward, and the amount that it was varying kind of caused a lot of confusion and concern within the community. Now, we've determined that actually that approach isn't the best one moving forward, just due to the numerous factors that can affect the rewards received when it comes to staking. So we are implementing an update to the staking dashboard, which breaks that down into the kind of three constituent components of your overall reward. And we'll be putting some official comms out with the update, which really drills into what those three components are and how they're all calculated.
Cool. Well, the marketplace is my next question on here. Obviously, we've mentioned we've got the decks coming out soon and the marketplace. This question is regarding who's building the marketplace. Is it being built by us or is it an external third party that's building it on the Root network?
It's a third party, and the old adage: if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with friends. Or I don't know, paraphrasing there. But yeah, so that is a third party that we're working with to build the marketplace. I've been in the marketplace a lot this week. It's really, I can't. How do I say soon without saying soon? Because everyone hates the word soon. But
Oh, the answer to that one was yes. Yes, it is being built by a third party. Thank you, Alex. Let me help you there. And I don't have a lot more questions. I mean, there's a few wins I've got in here, like win Buzzy update, for instance. But I mean, now really is the time for anybody who has been entering questions in as we've been going on Discord. Some of you got any you want to bring in?
Somebody asking if you could only use one emoji for the rest of your life, which one would it be?
The Pepe love one, the little Pepe holding up the heart.
Love it.
That's
My go-to is the paws, man. Those little paws, they get me every time.
Mhm.
Someone asking just kind of generally anything new or exciting that you can share with the holders. Maybe that's my old classic question. What are you most excited about?
What am I most excited about? I think obviously seeing, the next stages of Root come to life, and everything that's required to, fully take the Root network live. There's obviously a lot of stuff in there that we can't, explicitly talk about, but starting to see, these applications like Marketplace, and actually a lot of kind of people coming through excited to get stuck in and actually work and build on the Root network. Been having some really good conversations, both internally and with people from the community who have reached out about what that might look like. And yeah, I think really just having Root network out and live to the public, and it's kind of that point where it's like that thing that you've been working on for so long and it's not yours anymore, sort of thing. It's out in the world, and it's the communal effort behind it. So it's a big, it's quite a scary step, I think, in anyone's journey whenever it comes to creating something and then fully kind of taking it out into the world. But yeah, I'm excited to see how it's received. I'm excited to see how the developers, more and more developers, start to get involved. and really excited to see, what the future holds for all of it as we continue to bring more functionality, more utility to the root network.
Yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out to Down the Rabbit Hole, because that was such a great show yesterday with the curse of all, how immersive, how it all works with immersion and all the rest of it. I really didn't completely have my head around how that asset register and 3D avatars through Unity and UE5 all worked. But now, since that show, I got a way better idea. So thanks for those guys for putting that on yesterday. If you haven't listened to it, go to Max's X. You'll find his space there, Max Poker, and have a listen to that one. It's a really great show. Now, it's probably a good time to invite anyone up from the audience. Anybody got any questions that weren't covered in this so far? I think it's like 20 minutes max.
Metablocks, I haven't added. Sorry, not Metablocks. Who's it? Floating Coconut. I haven't. If you are on here, I haven't had a chance to properly read your message in general. I'm not sure, but if you're here, I'm happy to discuss it with you live right now. No, it doesn't look like he's on here.
Is Metablocks in here? He's always.
I got a question. It was kind of on the thingies that you guys touched on a little bit earlier, but I think before, I guess I'm just maybe wondering if you can go into any more detail as to why this was such a different update than we've gotten previously, and it kind of just happened instead of like with previous, it was like, hey, go, it's announced and go make your Christmas art or go make your Valentine's Day art, but it was still kind of the same.
Well,
This update seems like different to the art, like a very distinct change.
Those previous updates were more around introducing new functionality. So like when it came to like the style filter and that sort of stuff, it was things that were either thematic or adding an additional layer of functionality that gave the user kind of more control in that process. Whereas this update was actually just more of a kind of back end update when it comes to the art generation model itself. It was, we actually do sort of small tweaks and updates to all of our AI protocol stuff on a fairly regular basis, but obviously the actual visual impact of this update is quite significant. But it's something that we have enjoyed just letting the current community discover somewhat on their own.
Gotcha. Thank you for the further info.
All right.
I've got an update. The Raoul interview when question seems to be a favorite. And I did mention before, the further it gets pushed back, the better, simply because the further out that is, the more of our tech stack and infrastructure is put together so people can see what we're doing. And yes, these very busy men, I've managed to coordinate one more time, and that is now for the end of October. They are booked and locked in. Let's hope they can both make that appointment, because I'm looking forward to it as well. So yes, end of October, but obviously when Real Vision decides to release that video, because it's going to be recorded, that's totally up to them. Anybody else?
Someone asking if junk would be used in the Gods and Goblins games. Not sure if you can speak to that though.
I can't get into any specifics of how the game itself will work, but the more utility we can give any of our stuff, the better. But no, I really can't give any specifics on how the game itself will work at this stage.
I can.
All right, then. Go on.
Yeah, no, junk will definitely be incorporated into the game. That's all I'm saying. And you'll need lots of goblins, because some of them might not make it.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Yes, you're an old school Seeker fan, you son. Man, you're still holding on to that, aren't you?
Hey, we're talking about killing them. All right. This is
You can get
war.
revenge in the game, mate. You can get revenge in the game by potentially killing off a few goblins.
Yeah. The more junk I spend, the more goblins I kill, right?
You'll never get your Seeker parts back though, buddy. They're in the void. They're in the portal forever now.
Someone asking, how's the merch coming along? Is the UI/shop ready to launch, and will we get it this year? Not sure that we can talk to Wins on that, but I think Top Cat's in here if you want to speak to merch at all. Or Alex,
Yeah, I
either
can
one.
speak to merch if Alex doesn't want to.
Sure.
I don't
Go ahead.
want to overstep my grounds. So merch is in full swing and definitely expected this year. The store is in development, so I'm not sure how much I can divulge or how much we want to divulge, because we do want to have some surprise and delight in the whole thing. You guys are really good at extracting alpha and getting ahead of everything and kind of spoiling the party a little. So we're keeping a few things close to our chest, but definitely this year going to be expecting it to be a pretty impressive rollout of not only the store and the functionality on the store, but also some dope products that we hope you guys really dig.
Sweet, thank you.
Awesome.
Obviously, a couple people asking here around. Someone said the TRN white paper. Someone else said TTK white paper. Any updates around that? But don't think we can share that until they're ready. So.
This has been a fun little catch up. I mean, we've had Top Cat, we've had obviously we've had Alex, we've had Lord of the Horde himself in here, and some of you coming in with questions. It's way more fun this way, I think. Anyway.
Given the lack of additional questions coming through, I actually have a question to put back on the community, and those of you who are here. We actually had we've been having some internal workshops around community engagement, activations, that sort of stuff. I'm keen to hear from you guys, and feel free to post these in like the ideas and feedback forum about any really good things that you've seen other communities do, whether that's within the industry or whether it's completely separate, that have been great activations, experiences, etc. When it comes to engaging and empowering the community. Now, obviously, plenty of companies, third parties, and that sort of stuff, but which is great, and there's certainly a place for them. But the actual ongoing value prop, and especially the value gained versus the amount of money spent on those, it's a pretty big calculation. But if there's anything that you guys are seeing happening within other communities around activations, or anything around that side, let us know. We're always open to new ideas on how we can better work with you guys, how we can better engage you. What is it that is there anything in particular you guys want to see on that front?
Alex, where should they put those? If they can't answer those now and want to do a bit of research themselves, where would be the best place in the questions? And just
there's a forum in the Futureverse section just below Ask Us Anything called Ideas and Feedback. Anyone can jump in there and post something, and it will nest it into a thread that we can kind of respond directly to, much like the Ask Us Anything area.
Well, guys, if there's no more questions, I think we can probably wrap it up. This is the last chance to come up and ask a question. Please, any ideas or insights you might have of what other communities are doing that you love, that you wish we were doing, put it in there. Obviously, we're building out our infrastructure, so some things to activate will need to wait till, all our ducks are in a row. But we're taking all these things on board. I've taken a lot from the community already. A lot of people just DM me with stuff they would like to see, and I pass those over to the right people, and they go on that list. But that list can only be executed when the timing is right. So get those ideas in. We really do want to see them. Now, if there's nothing else, I think we can wrap things up here. Please enter more questions for next week if you've got them. Obviously, if they start with when, it makes it really hard for us. But everything else, like regarding the thingies this week, we'd love to share with you what we can. And, surprise and delight is the way forward. And hopefully we can surprise you real soon. All right. Thanks, everybody, for coming. And we'll catch you real soon.